Hello. Yes, Thomas, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Ankit. Yes, Ankit. Just
Okay.
give me 2 minutes time. The live will be started. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Ravi bro, Ravi started or Ravi bro, YouTube live started, bro. Yeah, Ankit. YouTube live is started. You can start.
Okay. Hmm.
Ankit, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear
Yeah.
you. Okay. Now I'm going to start. Wait a minute. Just my screen visible to all, I think so. Yes, Thomas can confirm my screen is visible. Very good afternoon to all of. This is the first session of the electronic system school connect program of the electronic system. Okay, so basically, if you I think the week one release is already week one content is already released, and that particularly content is related to somehow about the basics of the electronics. In this particularly week one, they discuss. Hmm, just give me a second. Okay, so I just initially start with the basically week one content that we covered by the professors. So basically, in this content, they mainly focus about the miniaturization of electronics project. Along with the miniaturization, they mainly cover the batteries. Okay, so if you are talking about the batteries, so batteries, three important parameter. One is the voltage rating of the battery. Second important parameter is current rating. Okay, so voltage rating will be given in the volt, whereas the current rating will be given in the milliampere hour. And third one is the power rating. That is in watt hour. So basically, this power is nothing but the multiplication of voltage and current. Okay, and why we are giving the current rating in milliampere hour? That is dependent on the uses. Okay, that is dependent on the uses. Like for example, if you see that in mobile phone we are using our battery, and if my mobile phone is not uses. Okay, so basically per hour we can say the minimum use of the mobile phone. So basically that mobile phone will be required a minimum current per hour. Okay, if we have a, like for example, if we have a 5,000 mAh battery, so what is the meaning of that one is that if we use our mobile phone one hour, or basically if we use a 5,000 milliampere current, 5,000 milliampere current, I can use that battery for 1 hour. So that means the multiplication of this one is the 5000 milliampere per hour. If I reduce my consumption, like for example, if I'm using the 2500 milliampere use from battery, so I can use that battery for 2 hours. So overall multiplication is 5000 mAh. Similarly, if I am using the 100 milliampere current used from the battery, so I can use up to the 50 hours. So it should be the 5000 mAh. Okay, and if I required a lesser than this one, like 10 or 20 milliampere use from battery, so I can use that one is 250 hours. Okay, so the multiplication is 5000 mAh. So that's why on the basis of our requirement, on the basis of our consumptions, we can say the duration will be increases. If our consumption is very less, so our basically usage is increases. So the multiplication should remain constant. That's why the current should be defined in the unit of milliampere hour. Okay, and if we are multiply these two, voltage and current, so we are getting a voltage multiplied by the current, ampere. Okay, volts multiplied by the ampere, it is a power. Volts multiplied by the ampere is power, that is represented as a watt, and our current is in milliampere hour, so that is it is called the watt hour. So that's why the rating of any battery will be defined either in the terms of current ampere hour or in the term of power watt. Okay, now if you are talking about the batteries, so if our battery current is high, the charging time is also high. Charging time is also high. Why we consider this one? Because this Q is nothing but basically the battery will be charged, store the charge in the form of, sorry, store basically current in the form of charge. Charge represent as a Q, and Q is nothing but I times T. Okay, so if our current rating is high, so our charge will be high. Charge we have to store will be high. Okay, so time period required is also high. Like for example, if we have a 1000 mAh battery, that will be taken a lesser time as compared to 2000 mAh battery. Okay, so if we increase the basically current, this particularly is the current multiplied by the time. This is the I multiplied by T. So what is the meaning of this one? Q 1000 micro C coulomb. Okay, and if we are talking about this one, so this is the 2000 micro coulomb we are given. Okay, so this particularly will be discussed in this week one. Power, it is nothing but voltage multiplied by the current. Okay, the charge is Q is nothing but current multiplied by the time. Q is equal to IT. This general concept we are using in this particularly part. Okay, and now if we are using with the miniaturization, so what is the meaning of miniaturization? That means we have to reduce size. The best example that you taken is initially telephones are available, landline phone. Okay, the size is very large, so we can't carry this phone. carry this. This telephone will be miniaturized, and now we have a mobile phone. It is a easily carry anywhere. Okay, so if we go to the miniaturization, the basically thing is that we will compact that one, and due to this compact, it is easily carry. Along with that, if we go with the telephone to mobile, the technology advancement, or there are lots of changes are done, so that's provide me the better functions as compared to the telephone. Okay, that basically do the better functionalities. Okay, so these all will be discussed in the particularly week one part. Now, if we go with the more part of that one, so we are basically creating some questions. Okay, and we are uh, required some responses from your side. So make it more attentive to this particularly mm, live session. Okay, so for this one, either you can use this to answer this question, either you can use the menti.com or basically use this code. Okay, type on your phone is the menti.com and use this code 2583 5067. After that, you can answer the questions. Okay, that I am asking. Or you can scan this QR code also. Okay, you can scan this QR code. So to join on the menti.com. So the first thing is that if we are asking that which electronics items you are interact regularly, any idea? So with the help of menti.com, you can answer these particularly things. So waiting for more responses. Okay. So what is the meaning of under electronic systems, like the system that is operated on a low voltages? Okay. Nowadays, if you are talking about the electronic system, so you are regularly intact either through the mobile phone. This is the one electronics. Second, smartwatches. I think you almost have the smartwatches nowadays. That is the second. Computers. Okay. In your houses, you have AC appliances. So AC appliances is a part of the electrical because it will operate on the high voltage, but remote controlling features will be the electronic system. Okay. If we are talking about the refrigerator, if we are talking about the TV, internal circuits of the TV, that will be operated at very low voltages. So that is also part of the electronics. I think you have a earbuds, you have a headphones, you have a mm, Bluetooth speakers. So these are the electronic system that you are intact. Okay. So if I see the responses, so basically, television, laptop, refrigerator. Refrigerator is not exactly the electronic system. The controlling unit of the refrigerator is the electronic system. Similarly, controlling system of the washing machine is the electronic system. iPhone, chargers, yes, cars. Yeah, in the nowadays, cars are enabled with some sensors. Okay, So that is again a part of the electronic systems. Coffee machine, okay. School buses. School bus, yeah. You can say the electric school buses. Say there, if there is some display unit in the school bus, there is some sensors in the school bus. So definitely it will be the part of the electronic system. PS5 cameras, yeah. Television, okay. So everything I think says desktop computers, smartphones, okay. Smartphone gadgets, air conditions, again I am saying that is air condition is a part of electrical system, but controlling unit that will be controlled through the more basically remotes, that is the electronic systems. Okay, yeah, very good. Now we go to the second part. What area of electronic system would you like to learn more about the in the future? That means which electronic system you want to learn more. What is the basically your interest, if we say that? Yeah, so let's see the responses. Yes, laptop, robotics. Okay, if we are talking about the motherboards, cameras, so basically the electronics systems are classified into multiple categories. If we are talking about the laptops, smartphones, okay, that are operated on the microprocessor microcontroller. So basically, microprocessor microcontroller is one particularly thing that you can learn in your future part. Okay, nowadays if you see that your smartwatches are there, your Amazon Alexa, okay, you have that will be controlled by the Wi-Fi or internet. So IoT is the second part that you can explore in your future part. Robotics is somehow similar to the microprocessor and microcontrollers. Okay. Along with that, if you are talking about the chips manufacturing, that is a part of VLSI. Okay. Chip designing, chip manufacturing. Okay. Circuitry. So that is the part you can discuss in your future. So there are lots of scopes are available in the electronics. Okay, you can go in the communication. If we are talking about the electronic system, so electronic system will be somehow similar to the communication, or somehow related to the signaling. So signal is one part. Okay. Mm, VLSI designing and chip designing is the one part. IoT, internet of things, as you know that it is again a one part. Okay. Robotics, yeah, nowadays that is also very useful, so that is also used. Okay, so there are lots of the scopes are available in the electronics. Nowadays the demanding is of the electronics part is again increasing. Okay, as the semiconductor industries are nowadays grown in the India, so basically the requirement of the electronics is increasing day by day. Okay, so that you will discuss in your futures. Now if I think everyone will be using the mobile phones. Okay, so there are lots of the components are available. So which is the main component in your mobile phone that you basically understand that this is the main component? any system will be designed with the help of multiple subsystems. Okay, it is not a basically single system is there, it is a multiple subsystems are there, and if we combine these multiple subsystem, one complete system is created. So if we are talking about the mobile phone, so so yes, if we identify that what are the main components, so first of all, if I explain that which components are available, or which basically subsystems are available. So screen, mobile screen is the one subsystem. Okay. Second, if you are talking about the Bluetooth, so Bluetooth is the one subsystem. Okay. So this is again a component. Wi-Fi module again a component. Your antenna a component. Okay. Battery component. Battery management system is again a component. Okay. Then there are lots of chips, lots of features are available like near field communication, like charging, okay, like headphone plug-in, 3.5 mm jack, okay. So these are the different type of subsystems are available. Sensors are available, lots of sensors are available in your mobile phone. So these are also subsystems or components. The main component that we control basically, so again a component is the motherboard. Motherboard is also a component that will be basically operate the component, this particularly mobile phone. So there are lots of main component, lots of components are available. Okay, now it is up to you that which component you are thinking that which is the main component. Yes, motherboard. Okay. Processor. Okay, processor and motherboard almost same thing. Okay, in the basically mobile phone we are saying either the process motherboard is basically combination of different things. Okay, all ICs will be inserted on the motherboard. In between them one processor IC is also available on the motherboard. Okay, so motherboard is a single board. Okay, on this processor will be connected. Okay, so integrated chips. Okay, port connectors. Okay, Bluetooth, audio port, battery, speakers. Okay, so everyone I think say chipset, storage, yes, RAM, ROM. Okay, RAM and ROM, GPS, cellular modem, or laptops. How the laptop is the main component in mobile phones? Anyone who is basically mention the laptop? Network module, yes, again, yes, because we have a 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G internet network are they available. Okay, nowadays mobile phone available with 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. So network modules, integrated circuit, yes, display or screen, Bluetooth, transistors and speakers. Okay, yes, so these are the main components that are available in the mobile phones. That is variable, depends on the different companies or different features mobile phone. Okay, different companies and different features mobile phone. Mm, what about electric vehicles? Electric vehicles, what is the basically what you are asking, that what about the electric vehicles? Electric vehicles is a combination of mechanical plus electrical batteries. Okay, we required some sensor in that one, in that electrical vehicles, to measure, like for example, we can use one sensors that will be measure the voltage of the battery. Okay, so for that one we use the electronic system. Okay, otherwise electrical vehicle is basically dependent on the mechanical plus the electrical part. Okay, because we are using the batteries. Okay, we are using the batteries. That battery will be operated, that battery will be charged with the 220 volt, 230 volts, so we use that batteries. Okay, yes, managing of the battery is somehow, you can say that it is a part of electronic system. The second question is, yeah, let us identify that the component is a speaker, as a speaker use a electromagnetic inside them to operate and converting electric wave to sine wave. Yeah, there are the, if we are talking about the internal working of the speakers, so speakers internal working is the different part. But speaker, you can use your mobile phone, you can use speaker in your mobile phone, so that is again a one component. Okay, speaker is a one component of your mobile phone. Yes, internal working of the speaker is that it will be convert a some particularly electrical signal into the magnetic waves. Due to this one, there is the variations of the particularly surrounding environments, waves are created, and that way, due to this waves, acoustic wave will be travel or sound wave will be travel in the environment. Okay, so that is the other part of the, yeah, speaker. If you are aware with the speaker, so in the speaker there is one magnet will be used. Okay, that magnet will be used. Basically, why this magnet is used? Because it will be attract some signals and mm, that attract that signal and then amplify that. Okay, so every speakers have a one magnet. Okay, does mobile phone have a CPU? If we are talking about the CPU, what is the meaning of CPU? If you are related the CPU with the your computer CPU, that is a different thing. But if you are talking about the CPU, the CPU is the central processing unit. So yes, in mobile phone we have a central processing unit that is called the processor. Okay, if you are using, if you are purchasing any mobile phone like iPhone, so there is a processing chip is available. Okay, A16, A18 nowadays. Okay, chips are available if you are using the mobile phones. So there are the MediaTek processors, so basically the Intel processors are available. Okay, so these are the CPU units. Okay, central processing unit, but it is not somehow related to, it is not similar to the your computer CPU. One, always if you go with the any complex circuit, there is always a controlling unit. There is always a controlling unit is required, like in your school. Okay, who is the basically control your school school management and all the thing, your principal. So we can say the principal is the your CPU of that school, because he will control. Why is understanding of individual component important? It is that is because of unfamiliarity lead to complication of the repairs. Yes, the individual component understanding is important, because when you are going for the repairing part, one thing is that, second thing is that you know about which particularly component use which battery, how much battery. Okay, so on the basis of this that you can calculate your battery management analysis. Okay, like for example, I say that one mobile phone will be having a 5000 mAh battery, but similarly if we go to the tablet part, so tablet use a 7000 mAh battery. What is the requirement of 7000 mAh battery in a tablet as compared to 5000 battery in a mobile phone? Because there are some other features on the basis of that one. the battery requirement is high, so we increase the battery size in the tablet as compared to mobile phone. So that how we calculate that particularly battery requirement on the basis of individual component battery requirement. Okay, so that's why the individual component understanding is important. How to differentiate between ports? Hmm, which ports you are talking about? I'm not getting which ports you are talking about. Like the C type charging ports, if you are talking about. So basically, in the charging ports, that is all dependent on the company specific. Okay, there is some. If we are going nowadays, so in every mobile phone, there are the fast charging feature is available. Okay, in the fast charging is only possible with the C type cable. Okay, second thing is the C type cable nowadays is very general, so every mobile phone company will be preferred to give the C type charging because it is easily available in the market. Are the ICs of the mobile phone made yeah, every IC will be made of the semiconductors. Okay, either silicon, germanium, or there are the some particularly compound semiconductor materials are available. From that one, IC will be manufactured. Sir, what about display? Okay, mobile phone. Display of the mobile phone. Drones, yeah, drones is also have. Okay, drones. Can you identify? Okay, on this question, how can you say that it is a drone? Drone we can use that is a electronic system. Okay, robotics we already cover. Okay, robotics we already cover in the robotics. It is a drone part. Okay, so when you go with the second week content next Saturday, so there are some TAs are available. From that one, you can ask this question. Okay, because Robot Link, all the particularly discussion will be done by them. Okay, so they will better to help out in this particularly problem. Does the electronic teached in this course have the similarity of the similar to the ones used in the aviation and aeroplanes? Uh, Electronics, like for example, we are saying that electronics are a one categorized into two categories. One category is that we are using electronic systems. Like we have a mobile phone, we have a smartphone, smart watches are available. That is called the consumable electronics. Okay, the ratings of the consumer electronics is different. Okay, similarly, if we go to the military grade electronics, okay, so the rating will be changed. The rating will be changed. Why? Because if we are talking about our normal generalized electronic, that will be operate easily 0 to 75 degree. Okay, 0 to 75 degree. But if we go with the military grade electronics, so that particularly semiconductor will be operate from minus 45 to 125 because we have to set this range. If the military will be working in the Siachen border, so there the temperature will be around minus 30, minus 35. So that normal consumer electronics is not working for that particular part. Okay, so we have to switch the industry in military grade electronics. Similarly, if we are talking about the aeroplanes, so aeroplanes use the different electronics grade. Okay, why? Because their operating range, operating pressure will be changed. Is there a chance that batteries can more small and efficient? Yeah, supercapacitor is the option, but uh, my question is whether it is CPU or no. Mobile phone is not a CPU. Inside the mobile phone, we have a CPU. Okay, accelerated processing unit. No. What is the difference between lithium ion and lithium polymer battery? Yeah, there are the chemical composition different in the lithium ion and lithium polymer. Nowadays, lipo batteries will be mostly used. Okay, in the EV vehicles, we are using the lithium polymer batteries. The grading is higher. The discharging is slower. Okay, so it will be providing a longer duration as compared to lithium ion batteries. Okay, so basically only the composition is changed. Why can McLaren wheel move horizontally while regular wheels can't? Yeah, because the structures of McLaren wheel is in there where it will be move in the front direction as well as the horizontally as well as the vertically. Yes, it is due to the rubber rollers. Uh, that all will be you discuss with the when you are taking the next week too. Okay, and they will tell you about this one where to submit that particular project. It is not a compulsory, but if you do that one, that is good for understanding. Okay, and where to submit or when to submit, they will tell you. Can you please explain about the placement of all the components of the mobile with respect to the batteries? Yeah, basically when we place our components of the in mobile phone, we can segment particularly mobile phone into two part. Okay, from depth wise. Okay, in the first part, in the lower part, we use the battery. Okay, why? Because battery is not connected. Basically we need a isolation between the battery and component, because when we use the battery become heat up. If battery become heat up, so that particularly heat, due to this heat up, my electronics component will get may get damage. Okay, so we need a isolation between the battery and the components. Okay, so that's why one heat sink will be used between the battery and the components. What is the wireless charging and normal charging? Yeah, normal charging we can use the power cable. In the wireless transmitting, we use basically transmit or radiate the power through the wireless environment. No, it is not more efficient. Okay, but the advantage that you can use your mobile phone at that time. In the basic normal charging, you basically plug your cable in the mobile phone, and you can only move at particularly place where the mobile cable will be goes. But in the wireless charging, you will move at any particular designated places where the wireless power is transmitted, but it is not more efficient. Okay, because when you transmit the power in the environment, so there is a power losses. Why we use batteries instead of capacitors? Capacitors, there are the working on going on the super capacitors, that this super capacitor will be used as a batteries. Okay, but the particular research will be going on that one. The second thing is that capacitor charging and discharging will be dependent on basically the time constant. Okay, time constant. If we want to store a high, or basically if we provide a larger current, we have to increase our capacitor size. If we increase the capacitor size, our resistance will be increased. Okay, if resistance will be increases, so basically power charging and discharging power will be current, basically time will be reduces. Okay, so it will be discharged in a shorter time period. So that's why we can't use battery capacitor till now in the play in place of batteries, but in future we can do that. uh, Using lesser number of component or miniaturization of the individual component. Yeah, it is a basically miniaturization of individual components. Okay, initially we use the transistors, like for example, if we use 1,000 transistors, now in the place of 1,000 transistors we use one particularly IC. Okay, that will be similar work done by that IC. Okay, so we miniaturize that particularly. Initially, if you know that the transistor size is very large. Okay, initially. In the starting of the evolution of the transistor size is about a room size, your room size. Okay, now it will be very small. Okay, even though that much is small, you can't see that from the naked eye. Okay, so that is the miniaturization of the individual components. What is the difference between a battery having a 55 but more power? Okay, so basically, if we have a 55, power is basically dependent on the current multiplied by the voltage. If 55 mAh battery having the higher voltage, so the power is high. If 6500 mAh battery has a less voltage, so the power is less. How does the smart glasses and smart rings will be work? That is dependent on which particularly working, which particularly part you are using. Like smart glasses have the Bluetooth. Okay, that particularly the smart glasses have a inbuilt camera. That the smart glasses having a speakers. Okay, so that will be all basically controlled through the IoT. Okay, because in your smart glasses, there is one particularly wireless or IoT device is enabled, and that will be capture the images from the camera, and it will be directly uploaded on a server. Through the server you can access that one. Okay, similar concept is the smart ring. Again, the composition between the lithium polymer battery and silicon carbon batteries is the chipset in the box phone considered as a APU. You can say that, but not exactly. What is the use of motherboard in the mobile phone? Motherboard is basically a board where all important subsystem will be on that particularly. Okay, you have a particularly microprocessor. Okay, that is a IC where you basically put that IC. You put that IC on a board. Okay, copper board or PCB board. That board is called the motherboard. What kind of electron system, if any, are used in the aerospace? There are the lots of sensors again in the electron systems. Machine work, it is usually for some amount of heat energy, so that does a form. So how the heat escape from the form? There is one particularly heat sink is available. Okay, heat sink is available. That heat sink will be used for the reduce that heat energy. Okay, and then in particularly that along with that one there are some particularly um, we can say there are some ports are available like speaker ports like uh, mm, mic port. Okay, like charging port, so from that one the heat will be escaped. On what frequency drone work? Basically, that is dependent on what is the working of your drone. Like for example, if you are using a drone for a lower range, so you can use the RF 433 megahertz. Uh, how the quality of the camera is high in such phone and less in other? What is the difference? Basically, the camera quality is dependent on the sensor that we are using nowadays. If you see that mobile phones are available with a 200 megapixel camera. Okay, but when you capture a photo from that camera, okay, mobile phone camera, and when you capture a photo from a DSLR camera that is a 10 megapixel or 20 megapixels, you see the difference. The 20 megapixel camera photos is clear as compared to 200 megapixels camera. Why? Because you are using the better sensors. Okay, so the image quality will be dependent on the sensors. Next. Now select the component. Do you think that is a critical electronics component for the mobile phone? Yes, answer. Okay, so the important component from that one is the motherboard mainly. So yes, 98% will be saying the motherboard. Okay, rest will motherboard and the memory. Memory is the also the RAM. RAM and ROM will be considered. Okay, battery is okay. That is the important component. SD card not required because if we have a mobile higher memory space, memory having higher memory, so no SD card. Wi-Fi module, okay, we doesn't require a Wi-Fi module that much critical. Mic and touch panel, not that much typical. Display and speaker, okay, we can say that display is the critical component, but mainly the motherboard and the memory. Now, if we are talking about if we want to convey the information, so which are the critical component in mobile phone? For the convey of information to other, the critical component you are, I think you are asking the display and speaker. Okay, display and speaker is not used for the conveying information. It is for only for the receiving information. Okay, like when you are calling to someone, okay, you speak, you convey the information through the mic. Okay, and the person who are at the second hand, they will convey their information through the mic, and you can listen that information through a speaker. Okay, so speaker is the only conveying the information by the other person, but you can't convey the information through the speaker. One thing. Second thing is the display. Okay, like for example, if you are saying that your display is not properly working, you can't see anything on the display, but your touch panel is working. Okay, your touch panel is working, so you can send a message to them. Okay, you can send a message to them. You can't see that uh, clearly that what you are sending, but you send a message through the touch panel. Okay, so to convey the information, mic and touch panel is important. To listen the information from other end, display and speaker is the important. Okay, so that's why two options are given: display, speaker, mic and touch panel. So basically, mic and touch panel is only used for the conveying information. Display and speaker is only for getting information. Okay, which is the critical component for gaming and browsing. So basically, yes, if we are talking about the important component, so we required a battery for gaming and browsing. We required a RAM. We required a display. Okay, we required a touch panels. Okay, we required a motherboard and memory. So all are the important component. But which one is a critical? Motherboard and the memory is the critical component. Okay. Now again, the thing is that the same thing. The what is the difference between the electronic system and electrical system? Okay. If you want to comment, so you can comment here. So as I already start in the starting of this particularly session, I tell you what is the difference between the electronic system and the electrical circuit, electronic circuit and electronic systems. Anyone who can tell electronic circuit and electronic system, please write in a comment. Basically, circuit is a simple circuit. Okay, circuit is a simple circuit, and that circuit comprises multiple different subsystem also to combine a electronic system. Okay, motherboard, if we are talking about the motherboard where all circuit will be there. Okay, that is the electronic circuit. Okay, but with that circuit we require display unit that we connect. Okay, we require battery that we connect. We require some sensors, bluetooth, wi-fi sensors that we connect with the motherboard. So particularly that combined mobile phone is the electronic system. Okay, so motherboard is the electronic circuit and mobile phone is the electronic system. Hmm. Now, how the mobile phones are more popular than the traditional landline phones? So there are the different reasons why the mobile phone is better, because mobile phone has a better audio quality. The main feature of the mobile phone is that mobility. You can use your mobile phone anywhere. Okay, you don't want to stick that you can use your mobile phone or you can call anywhere only when you are on at home, or basically at a place where traditional phone is connected. Okay, so this is the first thing. Okay, second, mobile phone, only the requirement of the mobile phone is that you have to purchase your mobile. Okay, there is no particularly setup is required, no wiring is required. Okay, third, portability and additional feature like SMS sending. Okay, internet accessibility, browsing, file transfer, image capturing. So there are the lots of additional features are available with the mobile phones that is not available with traditional landline phone. Okay, third, if you want to set up a connections for a longer distance and for a area where rural areas, so you have to install the wires for that one. But in the mobile phone you have to install a tower only. Okay, if the tower connectivity is available there, so there is no particularly installation charges for that one. You have to purchase a mobile phone, you have to purchase a sim. Okay, and you can use that one. Whereas in the case of traditional mobile phone, landline phone, what you have to do, you have to fill a application with the service provider. After that, service provider will be providing you the connections. Okay, it will be take a 4 days, 5 days. They will install a wire for you. Okay, that wire will be coming from the telephone exchange. Okay, after that, after that wiring will be there, so they will set a particularly DP in your area. From that DP they will provide a wiring connection in your house. So they will take their particularly setup. Okay, and install that. So that will be taken around 10 to 15 days. But in the mobile phone, you just purchase a mobile phone, you purchase a sim, and next day it will be started. Okay, so this is the features. Now, if you are talking about the most important factor to consider when using a mobile phone compared to the landline phone. So yes, the portability and connectivity, battery life, privacy and security. That is again important thing. Your mobile phone you have. Okay, you have that your mobile phone. But if you are using a landline phone, anyone can access that. Okay, along with that one, technologies, features. Um, the mobile phone that we discuss in the videos is, so I think you are familiar when you go with the video content, the mobile phone, iPhone and Nokia 1100. Okay, this phone is discussed. The primary power source, primary that means that will be mainly used. So that is the battery. If battery is not available, so we use the power bank to charge the battery. If charger power bank is also not available, you use the charger to charge the battery, and from that battery your power will be delivered to your mobile phone. Okay, so primary source of the mobile phone is the battery. Okay, the battery specification that is discussed is mobile phone is the 1510 mAh battery with the voltage and with the power. Okay, that we already discussed when we are talking with the battery. So three particularly important ratings: voltage, current in milliampere hour, and power. Okay, if you multiply 1510 into 3.8, you are getting the 5730 milliwatt hour. So that milliwatt will be coming in the watt. So 5.73. Okay, now if you are going with the mobile phone purchasing at shop, so you basically think some particular specification from that one. One is the processor, second is the camera. Okay, third is the display size, the display resolution. Fourth is the memory, like 8 GB or 12 GB RAM, 128 or 256 GB memory. Okay, after that you go with some other features with that, like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay, connectivity is like Bluetooth is available, NFC is available, or basically 4G connectivity, 5G connectivity. After that, you go with the device, color device. Okay, so these particularly are the specification you are watching when you're searching out a mobile phone. Okay, so I think everyone will be the important, but main important is the storage and RAM. Okay, I don't know you are aware about this one, the mobile phone battery specification or not. Generally, nowadays the mobile phone will be having the available in more than 4,000 mAh battery, 4,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,100, 5,200. So these are the some specification of the batteries are available. Okay, but it is vary from 4,000 to 6,000 mAh current rating. Okay, if you see the 5,000, 4,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, so everywhere. So if you see the battery rating, so it lies from 4,000 to 6,000. Okay, some Chinese phone are available with the batteries of 6,000, 1,000 mAh, 33, 32, 5,000. Okay, 33, 5,000. So nowadays it is lies from 4,000 to 6,000. Okay, the battery measures, there are two particularly battery measures. If you see here in the battery, one is the watt hour. Okay, and second, when you go into the back side, it shows the milliampere hour. Okay, so generally it will be shows in the watt hour or milliampere hour. Okay, now your mobile phone charges. Your mobile phone will be available with the wattage. Okay, your mobile phone charging will be available with the wattage. If you have a normal mobile phones, it will be the around 20 or 30 watt chargers available. If you have a fast charging mobile phone, that will be available on 40, 60, or maybe the 100 watt. Okay, but generally 40 and 60 watts. So that is the charger specifications. Okay, now if you see that the charger will be available with the 60 watt, but your mobile phone battery is a 5 watt or. Okay, so why this is the difference will be there? The difference is only because if you say that your particularly charger will be providing a 5 volt, 5 volt, okay, voltage, so that will be provided 12 ampere current. Okay, 12 ampere current. If your battery is 5000 ampere milliampere hour, that means 5 ampere battery is there. So that 12 ampere current will be charged 5 ampere battery in less than half an hour. Okay, in less than half an hour. So that is all dependent on your charger specification. It will be decided that your charger is the fast charging chargers or the slow charging chargers. Okay, if you have a 20 okay, if you have a 20-watt battery, 20-watt charger, okay, 5 is the voltage, so 4 ampere current will be provided. Okay, 4 ampere current is provided. Now your mobile phone battery is 4000 mAh. Okay, so 4000 mAh will be charged with the 4000 milliampere in 1 hour. So that means it will be take a 1 hour to charge your mobile phone. So we can say it is a slow charger. Okay, so on the basis of charging, we can say charging specification, we can say that it is a fast charger or slow chargers. Okay, the charging specification is available on the chargers adapter. Okay, it will be saying the current rating. So that current rating will be calculated on the basis of two particularly parameters. One is the watt and second is the volt. Okay, that will be specified on your charger adapter. Okay, if you see on your charger adapter, so it will be saying that it is a 20-watt charger with a 5-volt battery, 5 volt, okay, or 6 volt or 8 volt, 10 volt. So that is the voltage. Okay, so on the basis of this one, you can calculate your charger rating. So generally, it will be available with the 2 ampere to the 10 ampere. Generally, it will be available from 2 ampere to the 10 amperes current rating. Okay, how much power in your mobile phone charger can handle? So that is again a charger rating. That is again a charger rating. If I have a 60-watt charger, so that will be handle a 60 watt. Okay, it will be if it a 20-watt ampere, 20 watt is the charger, so it will be handle a 20. So that is all is simple. You can easily identify that what is your rating, charger rating. Okay, that will be easily available on the adapter. So on the basis of this one, you can identify that what is the handling capacity of your mobile phone charger. So if you see the response, so it is a 10 watt, 60 watt, 20 watt, 240 watt. 240 watt is not possible. 240 watt is not possible. 240 watt. So who says this 240 watt? That is not possible. Second is the if you are talking about the power, so power should be in watt, not in the milliampere hour. Okay, in not in the amperes. Okay, with the amperes, 3 amperes, it is a voltage is also mentioned. Okay, with the amperes, the voltage is also mentioned. So you multiply the voltage with the ampere, you can calculate the power. Okay, so the unit of the power should be always in the watt. Either 10 watt, 20 watt, 40 watt, 60 watt, that is the power rating. Okay, not in the ampere, not in the A milliampere. Okay, 5A is wrong, 3 amps is wrong. Okay, 240, someone mentioned the 240 watt, that is wrong. Okay, so please see this answer is not correct. Which type of battery is familiar to you? I think you are familiar with this battery, smartphones. I think you are familiar with this battery, CMOS battery, that is that you insert in weight machine or CPU or laptops. Okay, that is the main laptop battery. That is the mobile phone batteries. That is the AA charging batteries that we use in the watches, mouse. Okay, or some particularly instrument electronics, trimmer. Okay, so you can use AA battery or AAA batteries. Okay, so I think you are familiar with these batteries. Okay, this CMOS battery you are less familiar. Okay, so if you see in the weight machine, the option of CMOS batteries. Okay, if you like mm, your watches, okay, wrist watch. Nowadays, it will be replaced by the smart watches, but along with the smart watches, there are some watches are available that are not smart where we use the CMOS batteries. Okay, that is different, but it is again a lithium battery, CMOS lithium batteries. Okay, small size. If you see some electronics uh, kits, lighting systems are available. Okay, so where we use the CMOS batteries, lasers, we use this CMOS battery. Similar to the smart watches, not in smart watches exactly. The mobile phone battery is this type of battery. Okay, smart watch. So this is the mobile phone. Okay, so now battery, finite energy, charger, infinite energy. Now these are the questions in the practice. I think these are the general questions. Okay. So now if you have any doubt, you can ask. I will go with the some comments part. Mm, yeah, how does distance IC component assign tasks? Okay. That is basically when we design a IC, we will design that particular IC for a specific purpose reason. On the basis of that reason, we can assign that task. That is the internal circuit is changed for every IC. Okay. Now, so the battery size is, yeah, battery size is while battery size is a limiting factor because if we increase the battery capacity, we have to increase the size of the battery also. Okay. And mobile phone, if we increase the battery size, we have to increase the thickness and as well as the length and width. So my mobile phone is bulky. My mobile phone size is too much long, so I cannot handle that one in my pocket. So that is the limitation. Okay, so I think I answered this question. Kilowatt hour in a battery represent the energy, right? Yeah, power multiplied by the time is the bat energy. Basically, we represent that milliampere hour as a current rating. We can't say that this is the charge. Okay, we can say that it is a current rating with respect to the hour. If I remove that 1 hour duration, so we can say the current is in milliampere. So that's why it is a I. That is I. Why is the fast charging only possible in C type ports? Yeah, because in the fast charging cables, there are that particularly C type is a Thunderbolt. Every particularly connectivity, every particularly port has some limitation to transfer the data, to transfer the charge. Okay, if we are talking about like for example, hmm, I'm not sure you are aware. Like for example, if we required a 10 Mbps connectivity, broadband connectivity, so we use a simple LAN wire. Okay, but if we required a 100 Mbps connectivity, we use a optical fiber to transmit the data. So that's why the every particularly channel app, every particularly wire have some limitation to transfer the data. If we extend that limit from that particular range, my data will be lost.
Okay, and that will not handle the particularly wire that not handle. So that's why the C type also having the limitation. Micro USB have the limitation that it will not transfer the data up to the this range. So that's why we cannot use that particularly micro USB cable for the fast charging. That's why we move to the C type. Can you please explain about the placement of the okay, I just already tell this one. Are we supposed to go to board by just anyone you can do? Okay, why vehicle will already answer. That will be answered. Yeah, what does the battery percentage increase? The battery percentage is dependent on the current that is available. Okay, like we have a 4000 mAh battery. Okay, out of 4000 I can consume the 2000 mAh. Okay, 2000 milliampere current. So that means the remaining is the 2000 milliampere. So what is the percentage remaining as compared to the maximum? So 2000 divided by 4000 is the 50%, 0.5 or 50%. So my battery percentage is the 50%. Why we are using batteries instead of capacitors? There are the limitation with the capacitors. I already discussed this thing. No, we can't use that particularly for the consumer electronics because consumer electronics doesn't require a power bank. Okay, there are the lots of options are available for the power. Okay, so we can't use that nuclear power for the consumer. How to calculate battery life for a given percentage? Yeah, battery life is not with the given percentage. Battery life when we design a battery. Okay, so there is some chemical we are using. Okay, and chemical and some electrode, anode or cathode we are using. So that's basically how much time this electrode or basically how much time, how many times this particular electrode will create a reaction, so that on that will be decide the battery cycle. Okay, battery life. Like for example, we are knowing that plastic bottles are available in the market. With the every plastic bottle, there is a life that you can recycle that particular, or you can use that bottle as a one time, two time, four time, eight times. So that is all a composition, chemical composition of that one. So when it react several times, so how much time it will be used without any reactions. Okay, so similar way the chemicals that are available in the battery, how much time it will be react, how much time we can basically charge them, recharge and recharge them. So that will be decide the battery life. Every chargeable batteries have a battery life. Okay, and that battery life will be not in a duration, it will be dependent on how much time you can charge them. Okay, if I say that a rechargeable battery is available with the battery life of 6 months, that is not possible. Okay, any rechargeable battery is available only that it will be charged 100 times or 200 times. No, no, you're not a user consumable or economical. Why fast charging only? Why I already discussed this one. Why fast charging only discussed? Why fast charging only the only discussed? What is the fast charging? I think so. I cover all the question. Why not the laptop charger are not faster like mobile phone chargers? Yeah, basically in the case of mobile phone chargers, we require a less voltage, less current. In the mobile phone charger, we already use the higher voltage. Okay, that is the combination of six cells. Okay, each cells will be the 3 volts. So we already use the 18 volts. Okay, now the maximum power that will be produced by that one, the plug or basically the electronic socket, that is limited. So we can't use a higher current, because if we use a higher current, so the voltage is higher, current is higher, that will be create a basically too much effects. Okay, so that's why we are not using the fast charging for the laptops. Miniaturization of individual component. What is the difference between battery? Okay, we already discussed this one. Mm, I want to electronic gadget like a small drone in a problem solving thing. And you give me some ideas, or can you help me out? Yeah, sure. You can directly drop a message or basically on a G form, you fill that one. Okay, so we will help out in that one. In aerospace engineering, there are lots of electronic systems are available, but that will be the different grade, not with the consumable grade. So yeah, question answer, and if you want some other thing, you can ask. No, it is a chemical reactions. What will be the next and the live topics? So will it be? Yeah, it is a robotics. These are the chemical composition is the different. What is the first? That is already discussed. How to calculate the battery for given percentage? What does the indicate? It is the how much current it will be remaining. Is 5G dangerous? No. Who says the 5G is dangerous? Why fast charging? Already discussed. Already discussed. Why European are very every smartphone switch to the USB? Uh, because actually it is there is no particularly specific reason for that one. Like for example, if I say that in my laptops I have a USB. Okay, USB or USB option where I insert a pen drive. Like India announced that they are changing the size of the USB. So every particularly company that create a pen drive, they have to change their size. Generalized nowadays, the USB size is fixed. Okay, so every pen drive that will be manufactured, that will be the same size, same particularly pattern they are using. Okay, if India announced that this is now the new size of the USB is the Type C only available. So every company that create the USB, they have to switch their USB port to the C type port. So that is all company depends on the company, country. When the session will be end. Now it is ending. Why faster thing is only possible. Sir, in the and this directly related to the battery capacity. Yeah, but sir, without motherboard, how the sound will be? Yeah, motherboard is an option. Motherboard without motherboard, there is not possible to the mobile phone. So motherboard is okay, okay, but the recording and transmitting is along with that particularly. Uh, yes, the programming is a necessary skill. Okay, for a developer part, because if we are saying that we have a mobile phone without Android, we can't use that mobile phone. So only the mobile phone is usage is possible when we know how to create an Android system for that one. After that Android system, we basically put that Android system in a mobile phone, and that mobile phone is working. Okay, so for a good developer, you have it is required a programming skill also. Okay, what are the essential languages in electronics? For the essential language, we are talking about C++, Python. Okay, then otherwise, along with that, MATLAB you are using. Okay, uh, programming MATLAB programming you are using. Along with that, VSDL or Verilog, that is a different programming language. Okay, full form of IC, integrated circuit. What does 60 hertz in my adapter key? Basically, in India, uh, the frequency will be the frequency of the supply signal is the 50 hertz, but other countries like USA, UK, they will adopt the 60 hertz system, frequency system. That means in every 1 second, 50 times it will be basically positive direction, 50 will be the negative direction. If we are talking about a sinusoidal signal, so one particularly sinusoidal waveform will be completed. That is called the 1 cycle. Okay. So if we are talking about the 60 hertz, that means the in a 1 second, 60 cycle is completed. Okay, that means my supply will be 60 time will be moving in the sinusoidal form in a 1 second. That is a 60 hertz. Okay, but in India it is a 50 hertz. Hmm. Can you explain about the IoT? IoT is basically the Internet of Things when multiple devices or multiple things are connected on the internet. So it is called the Internet of Things. Okay, like similarly, if you are talking about the Amazon Alexa, through the Amazon Alexa, I can control my uh, smart bulb intensity, smart bulb color, that will be controlled through the Amazon Alexa. Why? Because these particularly two things are connected through the mobile, through the internet. Similarly, my mobile phone and basically my mobile phone is connected with the internet, and my TV is also connected with the internet. So I can control my TV through the mobile phone. That is through the Internet of Things. Okay, so that is basically the Internet of Things. What's your name, sir? Thank you for your session. Is the chipset in the box phone considered as a APU? Mm, that is dependent what particularly options you are performing through the APU. We can't say this is a chipset is a APU, but which perform operation you want to perform through the APU, that is okay. On the basis of that one, we can say that chipset is. Can you explain? Already discuss. Uh, what is the use of motherboard in the mobile phone? Motherboard is basically a simple platform where all components will be putting on together. Processor, RAMs, and all the particular things will be putting together. That is a motherboard. When a machine works, it usually produces some amount of heat energy. So does the mobile phone through heat will be reduced through the. If you see the backside of the mobile phone, is basically some metallic base out. Okay, backside is the metallic. So that particularly metallic will be escaping the heat in the environment. Okay, so that's in that way your mobile phone will be escaping the heat. But more lifespan than the mobile one. That is dependent on the functionality. If you connect your smartwatch through the from through the Bluetooth with mobile phone, your battery of the smartwatches is also drained very fast. On what frequency don't work? So that is RF frequencies. Suppose okay, so I think I answer all the questions. So thank you all. Thank you all. If you have any other doubts, you can ask. Hmm. The two doubts in the G form, it is it says that the week one graded assignment, some question related to the some that is not covered in the week one part. So I think so all part will be covered in week one. Okay, all the questions that is cover from the week one content only. If you have any question related to that, that you are thinking that that is not covered in the week one content, so just send a message to the us. Okay, otherwise we cover only the question from the week one content. Okay, only two doubts from the G form. So thank you all. So sir, can you close this session?
Yeah, Ankit. You can do this. Thank you, Ankit. Ankit, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can leave the session, Ankit. Thank
Okay.
you.